Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of All Things Accounting. So as I've said in my previous video, I'll be having a guest to talk about SAICA and what SAICA is all about. So as promised, Lucky.
Hi guys.
Hi Lucky, how are you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good, man. So if you can you please kindly introduce yourself just briefly.
Hi guys, my name is Lucky Chiwombera. I prefer being called Lucky Tiwu because I feel like that name is safer. Yes, I'm studying Bachelor of Accounting Science, third year this year, and it's been great, I must say. Or is it? But yeah.
Or is it? Or is it? Why accounting? Why are you studying accounting? Why did you choose accounting?
Well, I didn't choose accounting, guys. I didn't choose accounting.
Yeah.
But at home, they were like, you know what? You're going to do accounting. And I was like, might as well just do it. And that made me struggle like sometimes. But as the year went on by, first year, as the year went on by, I was just like, oh, this is a nice degree, you guys. And I started enjoying it. I was like, nice, this is a nice degree. So if I received enough information about accounting in grade 12, I would have applied for accounting, but yeah, it's
like
good.
What is that information that you feel that if you had received it earlier, you would have made the choice yourself?
Like I feel like it's the different components within the accounting field. Yeah, that would have made me apply for accounting in grade 12.
Okay.
Not like I didn't apply for accounting, I applied for accounting. I feel like I would have voluntarily applied for accounting. Yes.
Did you do accounting in grade 12?
Yes, I did accounting. Yes, with your physical sciences. Yes. Yes. I know majority of you guys are doing that. So
People who combine accounting and science, they're usually seen as the cream of the crop.
Listen.
They usually seen as the best of the best. So I wanna know, is there any difference between like the accounting in high school and the accounting in university? And if yes, guessing from your reaction there is. But like, what is it? Like, what is it?
You know, like in high school, right? It used to be. It used to be so easy, man. It used to be just like, okay, guys, do this, and then it's done. But when I got here, I was like, there's no way, guys. There's no way. I was expecting to see your CRJs, your CPJ, and everything.
Yes.
And also, when I got here, I was like, oh, they have an asset definition. I used to think an asset used to be like the things that you own, but telling me about economic resources. Like, economic resource. How does that link? But yeah.
So there's a lot that changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot that changed.
I feel like everything changed. It was no longer accounting that I used to know. I was just like, this is a new thing to me.
I feel like it links back into the fact that in high school we're being taught using SAICA principles instead
of the IFRS.
And now in university we're getting there and we are being taught in IFRS. For those of you who don't know, GAAP means general accepted or acceptable accounting principles, and those principles in grade 12 that like we hated them. Yes, those principles. And then IFRS means what does IFRS mean? International
accounting. What? I don't even know what it means. But I'm sure it's
International Financial Reporting Standards. I know.
Right. Yes.
Well, I know. You don't know, I know.
All I know is that it's called IFRS, guys.
Yeah.
So it has like international.
Yeah. So IFRS is recognized globally, internationally, right? And it's standards that are set internationally. So we're now being taught those, as most companies, in fact, all companies are now using IFRS. It's either full IFRS or is IFRS for SMEs. There isn't much difference between the two, but I don't want to get into that. But right, which means that GAAP is now obsolete. We no more use GAAP, and like
it's old school, man.
It's so old school. It was, by the way, do you know it was revoked in 2012? Yeah, it was revoked in 2012. Like,
why?
Huh?
Why?
Well, you see how IFRS is now used globally.
Okay.
And for comparability, it's much more easier to compare IFRS to IFRS, right?
Okay.
So if South Africa continue to use GAAP, companies will now have to produce GAAP financial statements and also produce IFRS financial statements because now, so that they can be also in the same playing field with the international,
Okay.
Yes, and also like IFRS GAAP didn't account for most other things. Like I think your intangibles, they didn't account for those. Like there's some transactions that you'll find in IFRS, probably the ones that are charging us now. But like there's some transactions that you wouldn't find in GAAP. Like consolidations. Consolidations are chowing, right? And you wouldn't find them in GAAP. So it's such things.
Yeah.
But yeah. And like I feel like the education system kind of like failed us because now we have this system that you're used to. Now you have to change to something else.
Yeah.
With the asset thingy example again, in high school, an asset is something that you own.
There's possessions that are used to run a business.
It's simple like that.
Yes.
If it's in my possession and I'm using it, it's an asset. It's mine. I account for it in my books. And IFRS, you now talk about control. You now talk about economic resources. Like there are certain levels to you have a tick box to actually say, okay, do I have control? Does it result in economic resource? Like will there be money coming in or reduced costs? Is there a past event? Now we have a tick box list, and we're not used to that. Yeah, like that's the difference.
So it was so traumatic in first year, but
yeah,
we are here now.
Speaking of first year, like how did you find first year?
Oh, guys.
Now that you're in uni, how was first year?
First year was a lot, honestly. First year was a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But it got better with time, I guess time is everything, and time is, I don't know, time is just time, guys. Time is time. It's the master of all things. But yeah, transitioning from grade 12 to first year to uni, it was so hard. First broke, it was so hard, but I was just like, you know what, you are here now, just do what you're required to do, and everything will work out.
Push forward.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like that's a big point that you just made there. Sometimes as humans we find ourselves in situations that we didn't plan to be in, but we just have to push forward, and you realize that if you actually run away, it might be more costly than just going through with
True.
Yes. So in first year, what were the modules that you were doing?
So I was doing what's this? Accounting information system. I was never really. I was not expecting that modules because I was just like, okay, what are we doing here? Then we did my economics, the micro and the macro. And also I was so that traumatized me because as a person who didn't do economics in high school, I was just like, hey.
I get you.
Yeah. And also what's this, computational maths, statistics, and this one for lawyers also. commercial law. And also like the major, financial accounting. That was the only module I was expecting to find in my first year. Not all these commercial laws and everything. Because I was just like, I'm not a lawyer, so why am I doing this? But yeah, those are the modules.
Yeah. So you're telling me that you found things that you didn't expect.
True. Yes.
Things.
That's what I did.
Yeah. I feel like coming from high school, there are a lot of things that you're gonna find in university that you don't expect.
Hey.
Firstly, I thought university was fun. I thought that we are gonna chow in as fast and Friday.
And it's doing accounting. I thought it was gonna be fun. Yeah.
I thought it's gonna be fun. Okay, I come from Eastern Cape in a town called Umtata. In Umtata, there's a university called Mota Sisulu University. Mota Sisulu University is right across to my, okay, not really across, but from a high school, like you can see the campus, Mota Sisulu, the main campus, right? So when you go into my high school, you pass through the main campus. Friday, you'll see kids. There was opposite the university gate, there was Spa has shops. So you see people chilling there, right? You see people chilling there, and you're like, university is fun, man. University is
If
fun.
you have time to sit here,
People
then
are
definitely
having
have-
fun. You know,
yeah.
because it was a matter of every Friday. There's always people there. You know, and then you get here and you like you barely have time for yourself, and you're like, what happened?
It's all gone, guys. It's gone.
What happened?
Nothing.
How did you get here?
Nothing.
But it's okay, man. Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand that besides I understand that in first year there are modules that you didn't expect to find there. Like for example, you mentioned comp law. So how was it moving from first year to second year? Like, did you still continue to find those things that you didn't expect?
No.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. I thought first year was the worst year of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, I was just like, I don't know, I was just lying to myself, and I was just
You
like,
hadn't
fooling
experienced
myself.
other things.
I didn't know second year would be the. I don't want to use the word worst, but it was not the year I expected it to be, but yeah, guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. I feel like second year was a year that it taught me patience.
It taught you some things. It takes you some things outside academics.
It taught me, I don't know, guys. Character development that year was,
Yeah, man.
And also the modules, they changed because I moved from doing, your ABCs, your simple stuff, not simple. I don't want to use the word simple because the word is challenging at that time. But you moved.
They are simple now. They are simple
yeah, because
now.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, from your maths, your economics and everything. Now you're finding your taxation, your auditing, your management accounting, which is like the devil, guys. But I don't want to use, but it is the devil. And you're auditing.
It's funny how that devil pays, eh?
Listen.
Okay, we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that. But like, was it fun for you? Like, for me, moving from first year to second year, it was a bit fun because then I started doing the modules that I from high school, grade 12. I felt as if these were the modules that I was gonna do. It was now like an official welcome to accounting.
Yeah, you feel part of the yes.
Yeah, I felt part of the elite. I feel like I'm truly made it.
Getting
to varsity is something. Getting to varsity is something. But when you're actually doing what you came to varsity to actually do,
it becomes so much
that's
fun.
something else, man.
Yeah.
That's something else. So that's how I felt, you know. And I won't lie, second year was something. Second year was something. Second year was character development, honestly, because there's a difference between us. You do financial accounting, I do accounting, right? Because you do accounting science, I do BCom. In our institution, there's the SAICA accredited degree, which is his degree, accounting science, and then there's just a BCom degree, right? BCom accounting, which is mine. So accounting wise, I've honestly kept on feeling that it's just the same thing. We're just adding some few things, some few tricks, from the knowledge that you already know. It's just a build up. But then came management accounting and finance, taxation, auditing, and I was like, I think you get to know what you're doing, only get to know what you're doing at the end of the year, and it's already too late. Like, I'm guessing from that reaction that you also feel the same, because I'm not saying that this is gonna be your experiences, but like you fail the whole entire year, then be like, it's September. Actually, I was supposed to be doing this like this, and like
at the moment you realize it's just like you're only left with like one day before you write your exam.
like information starts making sense when you're preparing for November, and you're like, your year mark is sitting at 10%. You have to get 100% just to get a 50.
That's not possible, but it's possible.
It's possible, but like that's university for you, because your year mark counts, but then your exam counts, and then weighted. It's a lot, because what they're trying to teach you is, hey, you have to be consistent throughout.
Yeah.
Your final exam is not the only thing that's important.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, it's like, I'm consistent, but the information is not consistent with me.
What must I do in that situation?
Like, what must I do? Okay.
No.
So we're speaking right now. We're speaking around SAICA, right? So for someone who doesn't know SAICA, what is SAICA?
SAICA.
Mm-hmm.
I think SAICA is a professional body for general accountants that qualified in South Africa, right? It basically just regulates the whole accounting profession, set your rules, your regulations, and everything that you have to comply with as a general accountant, basically. But yeah, that's what SAICA is all about. Yeah.
You mentioned a chartered accountant.
Listen,
What? Chartered accountant.
we are
What is a
going
chartered
there.
accountant? Yeah.
A general accountant is an accountant. I'm sure you can deduce from the accountant that an accountant, counting. Yeah, but it's not counting, guys. But it's accounting.
What makes them so
It's accounting.
special that they have chartered accountant in front of, like, yeah? Why aren't they just called accountants? Like,
Guys, we deal with a lot of stuff. We deal with a lot of stuff, from your financials to, I don't know, anything financial. We are there.
So I'm guessing you are a complete, or rather an over-an-arc accountant, in the sense that with all the modules that we mentioned, which is a tax, auditing, management accounting and finance, and financial accounting, you guys handle everything.
Yes, we embody everything.
You embody everything
Yes,
into one.
yes.
Other than just an accountant who's going to focus in financial accounting.
Yes.
I'm
so sorry.
No, it's cool. From high school, from accounting that people know from high school, you notice that there's gonna be those questions whereby you have to apply a little bit of theory towards the end of the question paper. Yes. See, accountants will know what to do about that, because in that theory there's a little bit of auditing, there's a little bit of taxation. Talking about VAT, that's taxation. That, talking about current tax, that's taxation. When you're talking about production, inventory, your working products, that's more of your management accounting, right? If you're talking about investing, that's more of your financial accounting, the finance side of your management accounting and finance,
And also, guys, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Accounting is theory. It's no longer numbers. It's no longer like your debit. What's this?
Debit,
your
credit.
bank. Yeah, it's no longer that. It's your words. It's your theory. You have to know
That was
the
the
theory.
biggest shock of my life.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying, that so that's the big difference, that as an accountant, yes, you're gonna have a little bit of background onto these things, but you're not gonna know the full gist of it. And chartered accountants know everything about it.
Yes.
They know what happens into that current tax portion at the end of your income statement. How did you get there? What goes into that? At the same time, they know into the taxation aspect of things, how it happened when you're compiling your tax returns, what needs to get into there. That's the huge difference. Come back to the statement that you just said. That's one of the hugest shocks of my life when I got into varsity. Coming here with a level 7, thinking that I know my shit, I know my stuff, and then only to realize that actually we no more doing that. we no more balancing sheets. We no more, no more doing income statements. We no more doing general ledgers. We no more doing T accounts. There's more to accounting than those things. I think we only did those things for the first half of first year. Like everything that you did in high school compiled to half a year, and then the rest was laws. Like your accounting has laws, your taxation has laws, auditing is a law, and then I think the only thing that still has calculations, a little bit of calculation, is your management accounting and finance. There are calculations, but yeah, it still has calculations.
Guys, it's so difficult.
Okay, right now we've just mentioned what our chartered accountants are. I want you to speak as on your journey onto becoming a chartered accountant? Like, what are your experiences?
Well, honestly, it's fun sometimes, and sometimes it's not fun. It's hard. Sometimes it's easy, but I guess that's just how life goes.
It's giving roller coaster.
Yes.
It's just like,
yes. Do you know your what are those things? The frequency, the wavelength that you did in grade, I don't know, grade 12. Yeah, your Doppler effect.
Yeah, I think yes.
Yeah, those things. Think of this journey as those graphs that you see in your physics papers or anyway. Yeah, it's a lot, but it gets better with time, I guess. But from what I've seen,
hard skin.
Yes.
It doesn't get better, it's just that you become tougher.
Yeah. Yes, only yeah, that's true. You get used to the whole thing, but yeah, it honestly doesn't get better. If it gets better, it means you have managed to get hold of its processes, all the anxiety that it's gonna throw and all the overwhelming that it's gonna come with,
Yeah. It's a lot, honestly, and I don't want to base it only into the accounting degree. I feel like in every degree in the university, especially our university, it has its own luggage. Because I know in engineering, the one thing in engineering that you're sure of, you're gonna find old people there. Know why? Because cost Charles, and sometimes you just have to extend your degree.
You mentioned old people.
Like you go into science, like there's like you go into law, our neighboring school, like you go into economics. Everywhere you go, there's something. There's
something.
Yes. Because right now, one of our colleagues in the office, they're writing an exam. A test rather.
Yeah,
they're doing law, and they're telling us that they're being tested on 10 chapters with an infinite number of cases, and it's an hour test. How do you prepare for such? Because you can't scope up and say they definitely can test 10 topics in an hour,
yeah,
but at the same time
cases, like
how can you say I'm not gonna study the other 7 topics, because then you don't know what the test is going to be based on, you see. So it's those kind of things that just make the degree a little bit harder, because like you have to now go into an exam and be this all perfect student who knows everything, only for them to test 1% of that knowledge, you know. And it's sometimes it happens that you don't know that 1%. Like you went into an exam room and you were 80% sure of your work, and then they test you entirely of the 20% that you don't know, and you're like, guys, why aren't you seeing me? Why aren't you seeing my hard work? Like why couldn't you, like, yeah.
Reality of school, guys.
Reality of school. So what happens after your degree?
Well, what do you mean after my degree?
Yeah, like you're still in your journey of being a SAICA,
Okay, so you basically just first you have to get into a SAICA accredited degree, which is Bachelor of Accounting Science, and then it's 3 years. And if you are, I don't want to say lucky enough, but if you are
hardworking.
Yes. If you're hardworking, then it's 3 years for you. But because everyone is a hard worker. But if
it happens.
Yes, it happens. That's
you get what you're saying. It happens that your hard work is not really reflected on the results.
Yeah,
and that may sometimes extend your degree by 1 year or something. Yes.
So it's your degree, your SAICA accredited degree, and then after that you go on and do your what is it called? Postgraduate diploma in accounting.
Yes.
CTA.
Which is your theory in accounting, certificate in theory in accounting. Yes.
Apparently it goes there. It's a cat.
Yawa.
Cats and dogs. Cats and dogs. Yeah, it's yawa, but it's doable. There are people who have passed through, who are now qualified accountants. So I guess it's a very doable journey. And then after that, you have like board exams. I think there are two board exams. Your APC, is it IEC? Is it IEC?
ITC.
Yeah, they changed
Initial
the name.
test of competence.
Yeah, they recently changed the name.
They changed the name.
It's IEC. Yes, initial. Yeah, it's IEC. Yeah, I think IAC. Yes, initial assessment of competence. Yes, IAC. And your APC. I forgot the name of APC. I forgot like the full name of APC. Yeah, and also.
Are these board exams at the same time? Or
No. They spread over your articles then just after you finish with your PGDA. Yes, PGDA CTA. Yes.
Yes.
What were you doing? But yeah.
No, I'm just checking my camera settings.
Yeah.
So your IEC, it's literally on your first year of your articles. Like, yeah, before you even start with your articles, in fact, you have your ITC, IEC.
Yeah, whatever that is called, guys. It's ITC, guys. But yeah.
But you have the test. Then, as you're about to finish your articles, before you get that accreditation that you are now a CASA, you have the APC. It's towards the end.
And also, there are like, I don't know, there are these hours that you have to achieve before you can like fully qualify. I think that 3,600 hours that you have to. I don't know that you have to. I don't know, but I know that there's some hours that you have to have like completed before you can.
Within those hours,
there's
actually also tasks that you need to actually complete. Like you don't just come to work to just show up for those hours, but actually there's a tick box. There's a list that you actually have to tick. That actually in my 3,600 hours, these are the things that I've achieved. These are the things I've learned. Remember, it's a training contract, so you have to show proof that I've been trained on the following items, right?
You have necessary knowledge to become a CASA.
Yeah, and I feel like the most from a friend of mine says that the most challenging part about your articles is that you actually have to be benchmarked in the sense that are you overperforming? Are you performing as expected? Are you underperforming? So because someone is constantly evaluating your work, it tends to be a little bit harder because now you're not just doing your work, but you have to do the work in such an excellent and proficient way that someone recognizes you and just like keeps on saying that good work, marking you along the way. That's the hardest place, because now remember, if the whole team is overachieving, then that becomes the new normal. That that's expected. So if you are not an overachiever, then it's still as if you are underperforming, and
that's for the firm's standards or anything.
You see, it now creates some sort of toxicity in a sense in that industry. But yeah, so it's a degree, it's a postgrad, which is 1 year. It's also called your honors. So degree, honors, then your training years, which are 3 years.
Yeah, with board exams.
With board exams, then after all of that, you're now eligible to actually register to be a CASA. So it's like we're being doctors, man. When you think about it,
yes,
we are being doctors because it's 7 years.
Yeah.
You have to spend
7 years.
7 years.
7 years is the minimum.
7 years is the minimum, yeah. So yeah, and Lucky, what advice would you have for anyone who would want to come to the finance space?
Well, I would say for accounting.
But
if you really want to study accounting, just come here with a mindset of you're going to conquer, which you are. You're going to conquer. You are capable, and You can do anything, guys. You can do anything. It's not an easy journey, but if you are committed and hardworking, then you definitely will do good.
Thank you for everyone for watching. I know this is one of my longest videos I've ever posted. A whole 30 minutes. A whole 30 minutes, that's a very long, but
30 minutes?
Yes. But like, I hope this was very informative. Just know that with this series that I'm trying to make, I'm showing you all things accounting and what actually is available for you in the accounting space. I'm trying to also show you that with what we have said today, it's not the only option, right? You can be a chartered accountant, but if you don't have patience for 7 years, perhaps maybe there's something else, and that's why I'm having this series. I don't know when, but I think soon the next person that I'll be interviewing will be speaking about ACCA. So yeah, stay tuned and thank you.
Sorry. And also, if there are like other accounting gurus that are watching these videos and the things that we talked about are not really like, correct, please don't hesitate to just correct us. We're also human, human error and everything. You should get this.
We are all learning, right?
Yeah.
We are all learning. City is a course, imfundo ayigugelwa. So meaning that no matter how old you are, you are never too old to learn. So you learn up until you go to a grade.
True.
And yeah, so if there's anything that we missed, or if there's any inconsistent information that we mentioned or inaccurate information that we mentioned, please do correct us.
Please.
And thank you, Lucky Man.
Bye, guys.